Om. 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 Sairam, everyone. Just to recollect where we are in the study of Sathya Sai Vahini. As you know, the Sathya Sai Vahini started out as Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini by Swami. And then later on, Swami has given his name, Sathya Sai, to this Vahini. So we can say that this Vahini is Swami's Vahini. And so Swami takes great pains to explain to us what is Sanatana Dharma. In the last session, we were discussing about some of the key principles of Sanatana Dharma. Swami says the Vedas are the last word in this, which have existed from time immemorial, since the time of creation. They do not have beginning and an end. And also the fact that in the Sanatana Dharma, no one interpretation can be forced upon anyone else. Everyone is open to follow their path as long as it adheres to the Vedas. And Swami also went on to say that even though there may be different gradations, we should never call that anything as ayogya, as something which is bad. That is not the way of Sanatana Dharma. There can be yogyatara, yogyatara, yogyatama. That is in terms of gradations, but nothing is ayogya. Any form of belief is no. And then Swami also spoke about ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti, that the truth is one, but the wise speak of many in many ways. I think that's what we discussed last week. I don't know whether we have exhaustively discussed the last slide, so I will ask the sisters to continue from where we left off. Saira.
The Vedas are concerned with and they expound the Supreme Person, the Ishvara, who created this universe, who fosters it, in whom it merges in accordance with the process of time, and in whom it is again manifest as his form, this amazing universe. We might have diverse beliefs about the nature and characteristics of this Ishvara. One person might picture him as having human nature and characteristics. Another might believe that he is the embodiment of non-human attributes, formless Ishvara. Every one of these can find in the Vedas declarations supporting his viewpoints. It is a fact that though they hold diverse views, they all have faith in Ishvara, the Godhead. That is to say, they believe that there is undoubtedly one transcendent eternal power, and that all this has originated from it, and that all this has to merge in it again. This belief is a hallmark of a Bharatiya. He who has not acquired this belief is not entitled to the name Bharatiya. He does not deserve to be called a Hindu.
Thank you very much. I think we did. I don't think we read this in Telugu, or did we? Maybe.
We could read it from Nivu Bodhinchu.
From there we had to read. Nivu Bodhinchu Ishvarudu Ettivadu. Did we read that?
We read it, I think, a little bit as part of the previous one, but maybe we could read again from there.
Yeah. From Nivu Bodhinchu Ishvarudu.
Yes.
Shall we start from there, Arun?
Okay, Auntie. Let's start.
Okay. Nivu Bodhinchu Ishvarudu Ettivadainanu Kanimmu.
The Ishvara of which you speak of or you teach what sort of a person he is, show me, prove to me.
No,
Kanimu means
let it be. Let
let
it.
it be. Okay.
So Ishvara, whatever he might be, నీవు బోధించే ఈశ్వరుడు,
Okay.
whom you are expounding, maybe
Kanimuna and
కానీ మొన్న అది ఇరుకటం తమిళ.
Okay, let it be. Okay, thank you.
ఎట్టివాడైనాను కానిమ్ము.
Okay, let him be anyone.
Anything. Let him be anything.
Thank you, auntie.
అది అప్రధానము.
That is not important.
ఆ భేద భావములను గూర్చి మనకు వివాదము వలదు.
The differences are related to that, regarding that, for among us, there could be
There
debate.
There cannot be any debate.
There cannot be debate.
ఈశ్వరుని బోధించితిరే అని అదియే చాలును.
If you talk about or teach about the Ishvara or the Lord, that's enough.
ఆ భావములో ఒకటి మరొక దానికంటే మంచిదిగా ఉండవచ్చు కానీ
one of those could be better than the other one, but
అదెందిను చెడ్డది కాదని ఎరుగవలెను.
But none of them is bad. That should be understood or known.
ఒకటి యోగ్యము, ఒకటి యోగ్యతరము, మరొకటి యోగ్యతమము కావచ్చును.
One of them can be good, better, or best.
కానీ అయోగ్యమనేది భారతీయ పరమార్థమునందు లేదు.
But ayogya or that's wrong or bad is something which does not exist in the Bharatiya supreme principle.
Can we say useless? Ayogya
or useless also we can say.
Useless.
Yogya means that which is fit.
Fit.
Which is unfit. I think unfit may be better. I think.
Okay, unfit is better.
Yeah, nothing can be considered unfit or improper.
కావున మనకిష్టముకు ఏ రూపములోనైనా సరే
Therefore, whatever form which is pleasing to you, what's liked by you,
ఈశ్వర రూపం బోధించు వారందరినీ ఈశ్వరుడు అనుగ్రహించుగాక.
May the Lord bless all those who are worshipping him in those forms. May he do so.
ఈ విషయము ఎంత అధికముగా జరిగినా మనకంత శ్రేయస్కరము.
If this thing takes place in a great way, that is very, very exalted. That type of behavior is exalted.
ఆ భావము ఈశ్వర భావమునకు సంబంధించిన భావమై ఉండాలి.
The feelings should be related to the Lord. That should be like that.
దీనికి శుష్క దరిద్రుడు ధనాధికారి అను భేదం లేదు.
For this, a poor person, wealthy person, that kind of difference does not exist.
ఈ భావమును కూడా భారతీయ బిడ్డలకు బోధించవలెను.
This feeling also needs to be taught to the children of Bharat.
ఆ బిడ్డలు ఈ భావమునందే పెరుగవలెను.
Those children have to grow with this feeling in them.
ఈ జగత్తు కొన్ని వేల సంవత్సరముల క్రిందటే కల్పింపబడదనియో.
This world has been created only a little while ago.
అల్లే కొన్ని వేల సంవత్సరముల.
Few thousands years ago, before only it was created.
Yeah. ఎప్పుడో నాడు ఇది శాశ్వతముగా అంతరించుననియో.
That this will get destroyed or end after on what particular day, someday.
ఇతర దేశీయులు జాతులు విశ్వసించినట్లు
this is the belief of the people from other countries and other races.
భారతీయులు విశ్వసించరు.
Bharatiyas do not believe thus.
జీవాత్మయను
We have gone past it, Kalyani.
You
Yeah,
know,
that-
the English, this is all, I think, is coming up in the next few slides for some reason. It's, yeah, the
What is-
children have to grow up. That's coming up in a future paragraph.
Oh, I think the previous paragraph the translation is this previous paragraph, is it?
Or maybe it's for the previous paragraph, Auntie, I think.
Illiye, and
This is, see, this is the next paragraph. This is where the good, better, and best is coming.
So this is the previous or later?
No, this is later.
Or we have not read this yet.
Oh, we have read it.
Okay, so go back to the previous, sir.
In Telugu, it should be Ekam Sat Vipra Baudavantanti.
Yeah.
The Vedas are concerned.
No, this is not in there in Telugu yet.
This book, I think.
I think they have sort of mixed the lines a bit. Wait, let's
It merges in accordance with the process of time.
No, this is go to the previous one, Kalyani.
Oh.
Or you don't have it.
No, I have it at the bottom. I can show.
Yeah, one.
I think sometimes the order seems to be a bit jumbled.
The eternal universal dharma or religion is taught by the Vedas.
I think if we read the next paragraph, that will align with what.
Okay, so in Telugu, let's see.
Some confusion is there here.
Okay, then what we will do is, I think English is coming to this point. So let's just discuss the English piece alone for now, I guess.
Okay.
This one, huh?
Yeah, because I don't think.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, so we'll study this as is. Maybe I should have done some analysis of Telugu and this. Sorry about it. Okay, so we will read the English alone and let's discuss, I hope.
Yeah, okay, that will be better.
Because otherwise, too much confusion.
Too much.
So, Sairam, everyone. So, Swami is talking about the Vedas and what do they deal with here as the third principle. So, they say, each person may think of the law as having a different form with human and non-human attributes. And Vedas have all these descriptions within it, is what Swami is saying. So I will stop here. Anyone else would like to comment or share any thoughts? Please go ahead, Sire.
Actually, this is the జగత్తును శూన్యం నుండి పుట్టింపబడిన భారతీయులు ప్రకృతి అద్యంతరహితమైనది కానీ నియమిత కాల పరిమాణ విధేయమై ఈ బాహ్య ప్రపంచము స్థూల పదార్థమే తన పూర్వపు సూక్ష్మతరాకృతి నంది ఆ స్థితి యందు కొంతకాలము నిలిచి ఉండి మర ప్రక్షిప్తమై. This is all in this end of this paragraph.
Oh, I see. Should we read that, Auntie, then?
Yeah, these, we stopped Bharatiya Biddalaku Bodhinchavalnu. Children should be taught about that.
Yes.
We stopped there.
Yes.
Afterwards, this translation is.
Oh, it's coming, is it?
Ishvara who no, I don't think so.
Maybe we can just go to the next slide because then we would be in.
ఈ జగత్తు కొన్ని వేల సంవత్సరముల
Yeah. ఈ జగత్తు కొన్ని వేల సంవత్సరముల క్రిందటే కల్పింపబడినది. Yeah.
But that is also not here. But in English, it's the next paragraph, no, Kalyani?
I think so.
Just go to the next paragraph. Next slide. Yeah, Auntie, here on see.
Here we have, yeah.
So I think so. Let's go back to the previous one. I think this seems to be an explanation of Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, auntie. Okay, because the Lord is in different ways and things like that.
Yeah.
That seems to be expanded it a bit here, though it is not in the Telugu.
Correct.
Swami just says Vedamuluga Pariganimpa Valasinadi Venini Anu Vishyamuna Mana Drikpathamula Binnamalai Undavachunu.
That's
I think that is being expanded here, I would say. So it's basically, there can be various views of people. I think that piece, that sentence seems to be expanded here. That's what can be the different ideas of people. Swami is, I think it's being explained in English here. So it's all talking about different viewpoints. Everyone can find in the Vedas declaration supporting their viewpoints, his viewpoints. It's the fact that they hold diverse views. They have all faith in the Ishvara or the Godhead. So here, one transcendent, I think it's some extra piece, but anyway, we'll stop. This belief is the belief of the Bharatiya. Who has not acquired this belief is not entitled to the name Bharatiya. He does not deserve to be called. I think so, auntie, there's one Telugu statement, Hindu ani nama, something like that.
నామము ధరించువారు అందరినూ ఆ సూత్రములను విశ్వసింతురుగాక.
So I think so that is being, I think that was previously, no, auntie?
Previous paragraph.
I think that's what is being discussed here. So Swami is telling what should a Hindu be, that we should accept everyone and their view, and as long as they are worshipping the Lord, we should be able to accept them as they are, whatever their viewpoint is, because the Lord will bless them the way they worship them. I think that's...
So it's clearly saying Ishvara created this universe, first point. Then it merges according to the in process of time, and again it manifests as this amazing universe. So that is the first paragraph, first few sentences. Maybe we might have different opinion about this creation, but Ishvara, as long as they are worshipping Ishvara as one person, that's enough, good enough for us. They hold diverse views, but they all have faith in Ishvara, the Godhead. That is to say, they believe that there is undoubtedly one transcendent eternal power, and that all this has originated from. So the whole paragraph is talking about Ishvara, the creator. Am I correct, Arun?
Yes, auntie. Yes, thank you, auntie.
Yeah. The one who has not acquired this belief is not entitled to the name Bharatiya. He cannot be called a Bharatiya. So the whole paragraph is giving this idea.
Should I read the next paragraph, maybe?
Next, I think I read it in
Telugu. Yeah. So maybe we read the Telugu in English, Kalyan. Please go ahead, read.
Of what nature, with what characteristics is the Ishvara you teach? This question is irrelevant to us. It is not so important. Let us not dispute about the various points of view that divide persons. Enough for us if Ishvara is accepted and emphasized. For even though one description and delineation might be better and clearer than another, no delineation and description can be bad. One declaration would be good, the second one would be better, and the third one best. But in the stream of Bharatiya spiritual adventure, no description or picturization can be pronounced bad and unacceptable. That is the reason why Ishvara confers grace on all those who teach any name and any form that can attract and inspire man as sacred and valid. May this faith grow from more to more, for it brings more spiritual progress, the more it is acted upon. Only the aspiration must be related to God or Ishvara.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have
So
already Telugu. I've already read it. You
we
want
have read the Telugu, auntie. Yes, we have already read the Telugu. So as you can see, Swami says there can be gradations of certain interpretations, but no thing now type of worship can be considered bad, ayogya, unfit, or improper. I think that's what we have already read in Telugu. So I will stop here. Anyone can come speak your mind, please. Please go ahead.
Does Ishvara always refer to like it's not, is it like a manifest form of God that the word Ishvara refers to?
Yeah, the manifest God is Ishvara.
Saguna Brahman.
Oh,
I think the concept of God in Hinduism is Ishvara, you can say.
okay.
Because the unmanifest Brahman is, you cannot even personalize it. There's no person. It is just impersonal. Whereas Ishvara, it becomes a person, takes on a persona. Okay, so that's.
And with the help of Maya, he creates the world. Prakriti is created. I mean, the whole universe is created by him with Maya. Maya is power.
So that concept of God is almost, it doesn't even matter what it is.
Yes, as long as there's a concept of God, that's all matters. Mhm.
So even like say some, like ancient beliefs might have had gods who were, had different characteristics of even pride or jealousy or anger and those kind of, that's still a conception of God that they had. Like in Greek mythology and stuff, you can see that.
Yeah, I think so. In the Sanatana Dharma tradition, anyone who worships a higher power, I think, is worshipping God. And we can. It may be, as Swami said, it can be yogya, yogyatara, yogyatama. It may be good. It may be better. It may be best. We can discuss in those terms with others, but not necessarily that what they believe is bad or wrong. And I think that's the Sanatana Dharma view. So to that extent, even if people, what they call Vamachara, they're a left type of, people, doing bali and all that, animal sacrifices. These were also tolerated. People in Hinduism, it was tolerated. Because that is the belief. And so Hinduism sort of was tolerant towards them. But I think when Buddhism came, they were trying to discourage people to some extent, I would say, from such things. But I think the Sanatana Dharma tradition, they allowed that also to exist. Though they may have been taught, they were never told it's wrong. Because I think the belief was that according to their own nature, their own state of progress in their journey towards God, they also reach a point in time where they are in that phase of development, where there may be some animalistic tendencies. So, they may do this kind of prayers. So I think that was accepted by Sanatana Dharma. Okay. So they were not, they didn't force them to give up. They may be persuaded, but they never forced them.
So the concept of ahimsa never existed, you mean?
Auntie, because in their view, they are not himsa. See, in their view, see, if you go and tell a tiger, don't eat another animal, the tiger will bite you. Okay, then because if something is born as a tiger, that is its nature is to eat, hunt and eat. Okay, that is also part of creation. It may be also evolving into different things. So I think that was accepted by Sanatana Dharma practitioners. I think that's my understanding. So they never considered it himsa. If himsa means you hate somebody, you want to harm somebody, that is himsa.
Injuring.
Yeah, but these people were not harming the animal. They thought the animal will go to heaven. So that's where the story. Somebody was doing an animal sacrifice, and when somebody was asked, they were asked, this animal will go to heaven. That's what they were told. Then that person said, "Oh, then if that is power, why don't you sacrifice yourself? You will also go to heaven." Or you can sacrifice your family members, they will also go to heaven. Then that person stood and thought about it. So that is called persuasion, trying to make people understand it better. But I think they never wanted to harm the animal. They thought it is for their own good and for the animal's good also. So I think these things have existed. But Swami would say, if you want to develop your sattvic nature, then your sadhana also should be sattvic. Sattvic. Okay. So sadhana. So I think it was never seen as himsa. See, even today, many people eat meat, non-veg. There are people who say there should no violence, but they don't realize that they are also causing violence. That's ignorant of human beings. So I'll stop. Only I'm talking, it looks like it should be study circle. I think I will encourage everyone to speak up.
Yes, correct.
Is it different to have a belief in God, Ishvara, versus having a belief in gods, like multiple gods?
Very good question. So Kalyani is asking, Swami says Bharatiyas believe in only one Lord. Whereas, is it okay to believe in many gods? How do we reconcile this? Is the question, I guess.
Ekam satvipra bodha vadanti. Swami himself has said.
Yes, brother. Come there.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So, but the Bharatiyas, they believe all the gods, not only Ishvara, but they believe some energy or some god. All the creations happen from that one. Even though some group they don't believe or Ishvara, at least they are believing in the main. All the creations came from one god. That what Swami even like that. We don't want to argue with it. At least one kind of people they believe in those one. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yes, Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Sairam, energy is different. There's one energy form, but different forms were given to different energies. That's why many forms were created. But energy altogether, it's one only. That is, God is one. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Brother Tasan, you again raised your hand up, or you have not put it down? Anyone else would like to share any thought? Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother.
Yes.
You said Sanatana Dharma always see the Atma in everything and see the God in everything. And now we are saying that animal sacrifice is accepted, but it's evolving kind of. But isn't it contradicting with this, how we see Sanatana Dharma as Atma pervade everything and we shouldn't hurt?
Sairam sister, I think you have sidebar question. I don't. Another question you have posed. So should we? I will. So now there are two questions. Sister Aruna is, thinking, oh, everything is Atman, and now how can we allow animal sacrifice? I made this wrong statement or ayogya statement, I guess. But so she's trying to reconcile that with what we are studying. Number one, and Kalyani's question: how do we reconcile with many gods? How do we fit in? Where does this fit? Believing in many gods fit into this statement by Swami? Sister Vani, please go ahead.
I believe there is one God, but we have many names. That's what I think.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Hi, Ramana. So, with regard to the many forms of God, again, it comes with how the devotee connects with the God. And that's where different forms have come up. But we have that bhajan, Jo naam chaho wo naam bolo, prem se bolo, bhav se bolo. So I think it's finally coming down to, so long as we are able to take that name of the Lord, whichever appeals to us for whatever reason. For some people it may be Rama, some people Krishna, some people Ganesha, some people Shiva. But ultimately it is to essence that love aspect that God is. And so long as we are able to essence it, it is more like the form is just the container, and inside that container is nothing but the sweetness of love. And so as long as that form is helping us essence that, that is the principle. That is the thing for the Sanatana Dharma. As many seekers, those many paths. So as many seekers relate to the Lord in whatever form, as a mother, father, guru, or even any of these forms, as long as they can essence it, that is one. But and so long as we are essencing that divine love, it is nothing but Ishvara. So so that is one for Sister Kalyani's question. And to Sister Aruna's question, I think Sister, I think earlier sessions Anna had also gone through that story of Dharma Vyada, and he is a butcher. And ultimately what we see is the ascetic goes to him to learn what being in communion with Brahman truly means. So when we how do we reconcile two aspects of being everything is Atman, and that at the same time somebody can go and do an animal sacrifice? So at the it's something that may seem completely contradictory. So in the context of people like Dharma Vyada, it is ultimately coming down to being in that state where the person who is cutting the object that is getting cut and to whom it is being served, and all of that, they are able to essence it as one. And so long as they are able to essence it in that state, it becomes superfluous for them. It doesn't matter, because everything that is being done is the Atman. It is the one that is becoming the many, and the many that is essencing the one. So from Dharma Vyada's point of view, everything remains superfluous. But at the same for somebody who is doing the animal worship or animal sacrifice. So in this context also, we know, we have learned about Arti, Artarti, Jignasu, Jnani, and based on their level of where they are in life, how they traverse towards God. So at that stage, we have several stories, like even Kannappa Nayanar and all of that, where he cuts off his eye and then offers to the Lord, and that kind of a. So where is that? Where is it? That essencing of that divine love in that container, how is the person trying to? So long as there is genuine feeling of that love being offered to essence that divine love, that itself will purify the action in essence. But of course, some people, depending on a child in a first grade versus somebody in a 10th or 12th grade versus somebody in university versus somebody who's a PhD versus somebody who's a professor and head of the department, the understanding of how they essence God varies. So it is where they are, they will essence God. And so long as that effort is being put in the right direction, keeping the higher perspective of connecting to that divine love, then the means also gets purified. I would say everyone is trying to meet God at the level they are in. So that is where I think those aspects were also, even though they existed and it was told to them as to what, for a first grade child to be told about a university syllabus is difficult. So, but at the same time, you try to meet at their level and then slowly get into them, but not putting them down. That is where the Ayogyatanam was coming in, where we don't decry saying, oh, you don't even know how to worship God. That kind of attitude is not there, but more to tell them that, okay, you're trying to use this as a means to connect to God. How can that be made possibly better in value, to essence it more easily in sattvic form rather than tamasic form? Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish.
Thank you.
Sister Aruna,
Yeah.
you have a question or you have an answer? Or
Yeah. No. Y- Yes, I can understand in their point of view, on like a particular person's point of view, but overall, is the Sanatana Dharma accepted that? That's my thing. Oh, yes, everybody's evolving. When you when we say that is also acceptable, that's also himsa kind of. Then it's it's kind of
sister,
I don't know.
so let me ask you a question. See, for example, I think I made a statement and I think I've ruffled everyone's belief of what is. See, what Swami wants us to do, there's no argument. Okay, now the discussion is only about how do we deal with people who do not subscribe to what Swami teaches, and how do we look at them. So let me ask you the question. At this point in time, Ramzan is going on. At the end of Ramzan, Eid will come. Hundreds of thousands of goats will be cut on that day. That is the belief of every Muslim. Okay, you can, in some places, in front of your eyes, they will cut. But according to them, they are celebrating and offering that to God. Do we still accept Islam as a valid religion? In Canada, we live. There is Thanksgiving comes. So you all know how many animals, how many birds are killed. Okay. Turkeys are running. I don't know who they can thank. But what I'm saying is that is a valid way of celebration and giving, showing gratitude to God. This exists in other religions. So don't we consider all religions are one, Christianity is the same as Hinduism. Swami accepts all of them. Swami doesn't say stop those practices. Because if they belong to that religion and they are devout to that religion, let them follow. One day they will also be born as a Hindu. One day they also would subscribe to a sattvic way of worship. But in this phase of their growth, that's where they are. So what this statement is, say we are only talking about Hindu animal sacrifices. But animal sacrifices is a very standard part in every other religion except Hinduism. Maybe Buddhism and Jainism. Okay. In all the other religions, it is part and parcel of their worship. But we still consider them valid way of praying. I mean, we are not going to go and reform. No, we are not going to force them to stop doing what they are doing. So they have to. So the statement which I made was, they also could be considered good. They may be not better. They may not be the best. And for every Sai devotee, what Swami tells is the best. So how many of us are very staunchly believing? That is the question, number one. Number two, why Sanatana Dharma does not condone that is another question you can ask. Because in the Sanatana Dharma tradition, Atma cannot be killed. Body can be killed, but Atma is never killed. So the reason why it is allowed or accepted is not because they are not doing with harm and wanting to do harm to somebody. The intentions are pure and devotion also. You can even say devotion. I think Sai Satish mentioned Kannappa Nayanar, or one who basically offered meat to Shivalingam. Okay, that's the reality. But he was on that phase. If we want to become at the stage of Kannappa Nayanar, we can be. But how many of us will pull our eyes and give offer it to the Lord? Okay, that is Kannappa Nayanar. So I think we should understand, let others worship the way they believe that they will receive God's grace. And we should accept and let them lead their worship in their way as long as they are doing it with devotion, not for their personal likes and dislikes. Actually, people who sacrifice are much better than people who eat meat, because people who eat meat are doing it for their own sake, for they are enslaved by their tongue. Okay, so are we decrying about them? No, we are not. But if someone is doing it with devotion, that's what Swami says. If they are worshipping the Ishvara, let them. One day they will learn. That's why Swami in the previous paragraph he said, one day after all these struggles, one day they will believe in Vedas. That should be believed by every Sanatana Dharma. I hope everyone remembers. Swami is after all their search, one day they will believe in what we believe. I think that every Bharatiya should believe. I think that's my understanding. I will stop here. I think I talked too
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Mani Auntie, please go ahead.
So maybe the concept of that divinity existing in every being was not recognized in those days. That is why people never thought, it is a wrong or it's a sin to commit this Narabali or sacrificing an animal. So they continue to do it. And when Buddhism and Jainism came, they started looking at this animal sacrifice as a sin, because you are taking away a life which you cannot give. That is their argument. You are taking away the life of an animal. You are not able to give back that life to it. So that is wrong. So they came up with the idea of the ahimsa, and that was accepted by our Hindus also. By that time, Shankaracharya also was, Adi Shankaracharya came at that time, and then he also agreed with this idea of this thing, and he said this divinity exists everywhere. That's the concept which people began to take. And then Kalyani's question is the concept of Ishtadevata, worshipping a particular god to get certain particular result out of it, was not there in the beginning. When I think the second part of the Vedas, when they started worshipping the Vayu, Agni, and water and other elements, they started doing it. Then I think slowly they accepted this Ishtadevata concept also, and they started doing different devatas. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. I just wanted to make one statement, Auntie. General belief is that Buddha introduced the concept of ahimsa, but actually the concept of ahimsa even existed before that, because there were rishis who followed very ahimsa type of sattvic worship and sacrifices also. But unfortunately, some of the Western scholars who have translated some of the Vedic texts, they have made Hindus believe that we were eating meat. It's a Vedic tradition to eat meat. They will say Ashwamedha Yajna. They come up with their own analysis and interpretation that they were eating. All sorts of things have been written about Ashwamedha Yajna. So what I'm saying is some of this misinformation has been spread by some of the Western so-called scholars of Hindu tradition. And I think I just wanted to say, and they basically said it was Buddha who introduced ahimsa. Before that, all Hindus were eating meat. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Ahimsa has always existed, but as adharma prevails, large sections of society starts eating meat and indulging in bad things. So Buddha came to re-emphasize the concept of ahimsa, and which was also adopted by many Hindus who were misled for some time. They thought and reflected and they mended their ways, which is the best thing which Buddha did. Actually, some of these Swami has covered in Dharma Vahini also. So some of these, so they are also considered people who contributed to the Bharatiya thought. They basically re-emphasized and rejuvenated a Bharatiya thought which always existed. I thought I would just mention that. I will stop here. Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Sai Ram, the worshipping the elements, it started even at the beginning of Rig Veda time. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you, Auntie.
Thank you.
Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Fair enough. I was just going to say that again, we know of stories like Shivi Chakravarti, where he sacrifices his arms and literally his whole this thing for the sake of protecting that dove, and so many such stories. So in terms of the ancient tradition, I think on the larger parlance of what true ahimsa has always been there, and in fact the way it was dealt with is something that is I think there's a story of a student who writes his exam paper examination. He gives his examination and the teacher fails him, but actually on second evaluation it is found that the student had written so well that it was beyond the understanding of the teacher itself, and that is where they had failed the student thing because they didn't understand it. And I would say that many times Sanatana Dharma is on that lines. It is so beyond the world that you cannot understand it through the senses and through the mind, which is used as a yardstick. And that is where I think flaws are found in it, because we are looking at it from our senses and the mind aspect, and Atman is beyond that. So obviously it will be subject to some form of misinterpretation, and all of what is himsa versus ahimsa gets misconstrued. So just wanted to add it there.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. So I will also address Kalyani's question of many gods. In the Vedic tradition, they say 33 gods, 33,000 gods, 33 crores of gods. All these have existed. So how does, when that is the statement of the Vedas, how can it be one God? I think that's the question you're asking. See, one of the things you should understand, even if you take Shaivites, people who believe in Shiva as the ultimate, they will also pray to Vishnu, they will pray to Lakshmi, they will pray to Saraswati. Because the reason, the way they consider pray is, there's something called Maheshwara, who is the God of above everyone else, but there are different departments. So they don't want to neglect those departments, so they go to pray to those gods. So if you take Vaishnava tradition, they will say Vishnu alone, but they may worship the other gods also. But then there are staunch Vaishnavas, they will only worship Vishnu for everything. There are staunch Shaivites, they will worship only Shiva and no one else. But even the people who worship multiple gods, actually they are worshipping for multiple departmental petitions. You know, I want this, so I go to this God. It's a different ministry in the God system. So that is the way most people pray to. They know that one of them is the bigger God, but some of people don't know which one is the big God. You know, so there's a hierarchy of gods also in the Hindu tradition. So it was recognized because they feel everything is Deva, everything is God. And Swami also says, when in the Vedas, the 33,000 gods are mentioned, every living being is a God. That time, the population was that is why they call it gods. Because everyone in this world is actually doing something good, everyone else benefits. So that there's a godly nature, which if any one of us do something beneficial to the world, we ourselves are playing a role of God in some department or other. So this is believed by the way Sanatana Dharma. That's why they will pray to a tree, because they think the tree is also God, because of that we are alive. It is looking after us. They worship the rivers. They think river gives us water. So that also should be prayed to. So they believe it was a sense of gratitude for things which everything, all the forces around us do us good. But then they will pick one person, as Auntie said, Ishtadevata. The God you like the most becomes your, personal and, ultimate God. But you worship the others because they are running other departments. So, okay, Hi, Ramanti, please go.
The Akhand Bhajan, when we were singing, Swami asked us to sing Sai Hare Baba Hare.
Yes.
The whole 24 hours we did it. But later he said, no, it's better you sing Rama Krishna Shiva Govinda Narayana. Next Akhand Bhajan, sing on every Devata. See, just we have to understand how this principle of oneness becomes many. Those who can understand that concept will agree to it. Sai Ram.
I will just read. Sister Shilpa has been typing. She says, all forms are his. So whoever you worship, it will go to him. Swami will give you darshan in that particular swarupa. There's only one source, Swami. We have to sacrifice our animal qualities. Animals are Swami's creation, so we can't kill. What we can't create, we don't have right to kill. If you see all forms of God, they are with animals, Ganesha with elephant, and rat, Mata Rani with lion, Shivji with snake, etc. We also worship them. So, that is the Sanatana Dharma principle. In everything we see divinity, and we feel every animal also is part of the divine family. So I'll stop here. Thank you. So, Kalyani, I hope, okay, so anyone else would like to discuss any point here, please? I think through this process, we understand, it should become very clear to us how we have to relate to other religions. How they are also worshipping the God. When Swami says all religions are one, what he meant was all religions are trying to pray to God. In that sense, there is no difference. But the individual practices, there can be some gradations, and that's no harm. Everyone will evolve at some point, and we don't need to worry, and we don't need to force people to evolve also. And that's in the hands of God. I think we can force ourselves to evolve. And I think that's what Swami says. It's all about our individual journey without forcing our views on others. I hope I am not forcing my view on all of you. So I'll stop here.
When Swami's saying that, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant, the God you pray to. And you were saying as long as people believe that there is some higher power, that's enough.
That's what Swami says. I'm just
Yeah.
paraphrasing Swami.
Because before we, if we learn more about Swami, what he's like and what he's teaching his, and the more and more you learn about that, like the more you're able to, I guess, progress closer to Swami. But if you just had, like, if anyone can just imagine anything and say that that's my God, will they really progress?
Very good question. So Kalyani is asking, will they progress? Is the question. If everyone is having different worship style, will they progress? Kalyani, are you asking what is our role in it, or our compassion for them?
Because it feels like there's a right and a wrong way to think of that.
It's good, better, and best.
Okay.
There's no right and wrong. I think that's what Swami has clearly said. See, one declaration will be good, second would be better, the third one will be the best. But nothing is bad. Okay. I think that there are gradations, no doubt. But nothing is bad. I think that's what it is. But anyway, your question is valid. So, but I will ask others to comment. Yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
As Swami himself has said, Sarvadeva Namaskaram Keshavam Pratigachati. You do Namaskaram to any God, it will all reach him. You definitely are making progress towards your spiritual goal. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Yes, Brother Thasan.
Sai Ram, brother. Only we are the only or certain numbers we are believing Sathya Sai Baba, and we are respecting other religion. At least their main goal, whatever I said before, the all the creations happen from that particular God whoever they believe. So that part we have to respect. That's what.
So brother, which God?
Well, whatever the people believe, they can believe Ishvara. Some people can believe player. Some people believe Lord Muruga. Some people believe Lord Jesus. So according to their level, they believe that creation was created by Him, and they have the faith in God. That is important. So in the book says. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish, please.
Hi, Ramana. I was just going to use the story of Ekalavya. And so he's a tribal boy, knows nothing about archery, but has interest in it because he's seeing all of the warriors of those time use the bow and arrow. Comes to Guru Drona, gets rejected by him because he's not a prince. Goes and just makes a statue out of mud there. And with that Shraddha that he had and that Ekagrata that he had, he became the Ekalavya who was envy of even people like Arjuna with no physical presence of the Guru, which clearly says that what is within us is what will manifest also on the outside and guide us through. So in the Hindu tradition, people will go around ant hills, and Swami himself has said how the cobbler will touch his tools to his eyes and start the work. A truck driver will touch the steering wheel to their eyes and start their work. So in terms of seeing that work is worship and duty is God kind of a framework, and go along whatever they believe in, as long as that sincerity, that's one pointed devotion and love towards God is there, I think that itself guides them from becoming the good better to the best kind of a journey. And so everybody has to start at some point, whether it is the Arti, Artarti, Jignasu, Jnani kind of a framework, or starting from kindergarten all the way up to university education. The starting point is what is needed. And so long as that effort and interest is there, I think the rest will ensure that we are headed in the right direction. Because I think Swami is just seeing that love within that. So Swami would also say in that Telugu Padyam that love which is sown by the Lord in our heart, that itself we offer it back to Swami, and that will guide one to, I think, God realization. Saira.
Sairam Sai Satish, I have a question for you, just to clarify. So when Ekalavya worshipped Drona's statue, who actually helped him, master archery? Was it Drona?
It was his Guru Bhakti, that the devotion within him that guided him in the whole thing. So it is like that only now. Like every time he was seeing, for doing every step of what he learned, he would have seen, would this way be the one that Guru Drona taught me? So it is putting himself in the shoes of the Guru that he became the Guru, which became that Salokyam, Samipyam, Sarupyam kind of a thing. I think in essencing the thinking of the Guru, he attained the mastery of that. So I think it is just that, I would say the inner self, the true Guru was inside, and that inside Guru manifested on the outside through that statue, and that's very good.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Hi, Ram. Can you repeat the question? I just want to make sure I'm answering the question or just
Which question, sister?
the one we are discussing?
The question which we are discussing is Kalyani's, I think.
Yeah.
What he asked was, if people are worshipping different, different ways, different gods, so different practices, okay? If they are not very good, uh, how can we be sure that, they are also progressing, that they will progress? I think that was a question. Am I right, Kalyani?
Yes, I guess it's having because like I think sometimes when you maybe interact with people with different beliefs or hear something from a different religion or something like that, you may have this feeling of like discomfort or feeling that, well, that's not right. That's not the way that Swami, would say something or so I guess even those views, all of that is still good. That's what Swami's saying here, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know I just want to share my little experience when I was in high school. At home, my mom is keeping fast on Mondays. My sister is doing on Thursdays. My aunt is doing on Fridays because of Devi. My uncle is doing on Tuesday because of Hanuman. Everybody is, we had so many deities. And of course, I grew up with Muslim friends and Sikh friends and live in a very multicultural environment. I just recall that one day I was just sitting in front of the altar. I used to keep Thursday fast I have no intention. I didn't know Swami that. I didn't born, unfortunately, knowing Swami from the birth. And I asked everybody's picture in my altar. And I asked, how can I know like which is the right God? How do I know? I mean, my mom is saying do this, my aunt is doing something else, my friends are this. How do I know what is right, what is wrong? Who is doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? These are the questions I was keep asking myself. Like I was in high school curious about all those things. I don't know if it makes sense. After a few years when I went to university, lo behold, I came across to a girl whose family believed in Swami. And very slowly, even that time I didn't believe. I don't know how I came across, but when I look back, it looks like my curiosity about my own progress and knowing what is right, because I was asking, there must be somebody who can tell me, God must be in a physical form who can tell me this is right, this is wrong, rather than I hear from different people. These are the questions I used to ask myself. And I believe that reached to him, and then I just got introduced to him. So I just believe if we have that curiosity, what is right, what is wrong, we don't know that. And he will, as brother Aruno has said, when we were discussing, people are eating something else, people are doing, everybody on a different path, spirituality. So we respect that, but we need to have that curiosity of, in Gita Vahini, we have learned why this, and ask. Krishna is saying, ask questions, don't stuck to that, but your spiritual progress is only when you ask questions and curious to know things. So that's just the 2 cents. I think that's how we will grow spiritually. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister Shivani. Yes, Brother Vimalesan.
Sai Ram. Now, before I mention my thoughts on this question, just to give the perspective, regarding, we were talking about animal sacrifice, killing, vegetarianism, all that. So, the other day, I just, for curiosity, once I checked on Google, even in India, among all the states, Rajasthan and Gujarat have the 25% non-vegetarians. All the other states, almost 90% non-vegetarians. Vegetarianism is more prevalent. That's, I guess, because of Jainism, because Jainism still prevalent there. So that apart from this thing, but come to this question, I think there's certain questions is very difficult to give clear answer, but all the saints and sages, no, they say it's all are in an evolving process, but every living, every jiva has their own pace. So according, Brother Arno earlier said, according to their this thing, they take birth in different geographically or religious wise in different religions and all that. And but this concept is very important, I think. In Tamil, Manika says, Avanarulale Avandal Vanangi, that the other day Ramana Maharshi exactly says the same thing to because of his grace, you worship him. So, and Swami, I think Swami, very often it's quoted, Swami, the devotees, anyone says, devotees doesn't choose Swami, Swami choose devotees. So that is beyond that, we don't know how and why people come to this. But that is why some past merits, and beyond all that, his compassion, grace, and all that, the deservedness, he only knows what's the criteria and all that. So we don't, but basically why I say we don't have to worry about others. That doesn't mean we don't care, but that shouldn't disturb our focus on the way Swami, to follow Swami's teaching. Sai.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, brother Yoga.
So, Sairam, if it's a Tylenol or Panadol or Kotamali, it will all cure fever.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So I think there's some. Okay, that's fine. Someone's. Yes, brother Rajagopal. Wanted to speak?
Yeah, that Swami says that all the forms and names are mine. Yes, if you worship in a form, that praise come to me alone. And we can select one form and pray to that form only. Then we will get the prospect. There's no doubt. If, for example, we want to dig a well, we have to dig one place. If you dig several other places, you can get the water. Likewise, we pray the God in one form and one name. Finally we get the God. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sairam, thank you. I just wanted to, like, one final point just to kind of solidify this in my mind. So we were saying how as long as you have some higher, something that is above you, beyond you, if you believe that there's something beyond you that that is going to help you, that belief itself will help you progress, and doesn't matter what that concept is. It could be a fearful God, it could be, or whatever that God is, that God will help you. Well, I guess if you think about like the Western world, it's almost that money is God, like the way they worship wealth and money and power. So is that also a God for them?
Okay, that's a good question from Kalyani. So her question is, okay, now I understand that devotion helps. As Brother Sai Satish said, the Guru Bhakti, the devotion which Ekalavya had, blessed him. The reality is, if when we have a sense of devotion, a higher power is able to come to our help. Simple as that. So I think Kalyani's question is bhakti, or I don't want to call it devotion to wealth, but the people believe that wealth will do everything for them. Dhana will do everything for them. Should that be considered also devotion? Is it equivalent to worshipping a god? because they give money also the power. They believe that it has power and they sort of seek it. So that's Kalyani's questions. I will stop here. I hope, Kalyani, I have paraphrased it, clarified my understanding of the question.
Yes.
So, okay. Anyone who would like to say anything about it? Yes, Sister Vani, please go ahead.
We discussed today at the center about samsara and samskara. So the worldly thing. So here the wealth is a worldly thing and it is not permanent. And what is permanent is the one who's above and beyond everyone, and it's the Atma. So that if we are focusing on towards that, that will take us to the next level and not worldly matters. That's kind of my thought.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. And we all those who missed that, I think, discussion, we have benefited. Thanks. I missed it, so thank you very much. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saramana. So I'm just trying to understand this better. So it is, from what I see, am I praying to God for wealth? It's like, am I asking how do I put it? I'm just trying to see that, am I using wealth as a means to connect to God, or a God as a means to connect to wealth? Which of the two it is will define how I progress. If I'm using God as a means to progress to wealth, then I get stuck in the world. We know the story of how Krishna and Arjuna went. That cow, long time ago, we had discussed about, where they after a walk, Lord Krishna takes Arjuna to a Brahmin's house. The Brahmin has only one cow. After having the milk from given by that Brahmin from that one cow, Lord Krishna blesses that cow goes away or passes away, and then they go to Duryodhana's palace, and there he ill-treats Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna blesses Duryodhana. May you have all the wealth and power and riches in the world. And we know the true meaning of what happened in the first case and the second case, which was clarified to Arjuna, saying that ultimately in the case of when the cow was gone, the cow is also gone, so it is to connect to God directly, and that's where the Brahmin was actually blessed. But in the case of Duryodhana, it was more of a curse, because he connected more to wealth than to Krishna. So in our aspect too is, what am I making God a transit or my destination? If God is my destination, then anything that I do will connect to God. But if God is used as a transit, I'll keep going to him and keep asking for 101 other things. Because Swami also has said this, I keep giving you what you ask, so that one day you may come to ask what I have to give. So I think that is where the ultimate thing in how we progress also goes to. If I keep asking for if I keep asking for trivial things and not for what I actually have to ask for, then it may we may have some progress. Ultimately we will merge in Swami, just that it may become a little more long-winded path to get to Swami.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. I will just read out, Sister Shilpa has put some comments. The final goal is liberation, so our conscious will lead us to the right form. The peace and bliss in us will tell us if we are progressing to our goal to merit him. Wealth is temporary and materialistic thing. We can't compare with God, which is eternal, permanent. Wealth is the Maya created by God only. Okay, that's Sister Shilpa. Thank you, sister. Anyone else would like to comment on this? So, Kalyani, your question requires a more elaborate answer. Sai Satish has touched upon to some extent. Swami makes a difference between sadhana and dhana. Swami says most people sadhana is not sadhana, it is just dhana. So what they are missing is the sa. Okay. So I think if anyone who wants to understand this well should attend the retreat this time in May. where this topic will be discussed. So I don't want to give away the cat now. So the answer to this is the entire retreat. So let me put that. So just, I think you have to park the question and wait till the retreat. And we will explore this, exactly what you asked. The thing is, when you said that in the West, we are after, people are after money. No, not only the West, even us. We devotees are also after the world, which is what Sai Satish was talking about. That, you know, we use God as transit point, not the end goal. So I think that's a discussion, and that's why Swami has organized the retreat for us to go and learn this. So I will leave it at that. So sorry, you had to wait for the answer. So, okay. Any other questions we will discuss? So that I think we should understand God is the one who is receiving every thought, every prayer. And the attitude of prayer, in whichever you believe, will bring God's results. And we should also understand that it's God, more than us, God is compassionate about everyone's progress. Okay, I think we should believe that firmly. Our role is very limited. But the thing is, the only thing which we can do is in our own practice, if we are able to demonstrate that our life is better, that we are able to live our life more peacefully, with much more joy and, and belief in God. And that is the only thing which we can help others to learn from. If Swami's teachings are the best and they are the ones who will assure us, first we have to prove to others that it has helped us. And that's all we can do. Others will, if they see that there is something beneficial, they will definitely learn, and they will try to find out from us, what did we learn from who we learned, so that our life is so good. I think that's the only we can do. More than us, God will be very concerned about everyone's progress. So that's what I would say. So yes, others may be at a lower level of learning. It's okay, no problem. They will also learn. The Lord is constantly teaching everyone. Brother Yoga has again said, Tylenol, Panadol, and coriander seed will help reduce the fever, he says. That's the way any form of God also help us. So I think, Brother Yoga, the question will be, should we take all three or just we take one? And what are the side effects of each one of them? So I will let him contemplate on that. So is there a gradation of those treatments also? Yes, Auntie Mani, please go ahead, Auntie.
Sairam, the one who is asking for materialistic wealth, who is worshipping, is he not having a small belief in that superior power, which has to help him to get the materialistic wealth? In a way, even though he's worshipping materialistic wealth, he wants money brings power to him. But even while worshipping the money, he has to have some kind of faith in that superior power which helps him to get the wealth. Sairam.
Sairam. Thank you very much. Auntie is talking about Artharthi.
Artharthi.
It's also a devotee. Okay, so.
I think we learned before how aparavidya and paravidya, like paravidya will lead you closer to God and aparavidya will lead you away from God. So God is nothing but just our own creation in our mind, it seems like. Is that correct? Because we're saying that it's whatever we conceive God as, and it's our own bhakti that leads us forward. So God can be anything that we. So I'm trying to see what's the difference between the God that we create that will lead us closer to the reality versus you might have a conception of God that takes you away from reality.
Maybe I will. Anyone would like to comment on this? Paravidya and aparavidya. Paravidya leads us to God. Aparavidya takes us away from God towards the world. So when someone follows Aparavidya, what happens to them? I think that's Kalyani's question.
Like, what is a distinguishing feature that says that this is
So
a
your
concept
question
of
is,
God?
does Aparavidya help? I think that's the question.
Yeah, because I always thought that's going to lead you away from God.
Yeah. So if something leads you away from God, what is the so then isn't it very bad? I think that's the question. And how do we help such people? Or should we help them?
I guess it's like such a two different things you have to keep in your mind at the same time, like opposing things, because you realize that the way I thought before was wrong and now it's more correct, so
Exactly. So that's what Swami is through his teachings, he wants us to understand that it's more correct than wrong. I think that's what Swami is trying to drive home here. So your question is, if someone follows Aparavidya, are they going away eternally away from God? Are they going to eternal hell? Let me put it that way. So Auntie Sakku has the answer. Yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
Yes. How did Vishwamitra come? He also went in the wrong ways, but did God forsake him? No. No. Everywhere people make errors, but God will never forsake the souls because it's part of him. How can he forsake? Even if they are going away from, they are going after material things, one day they will realize, no, this is not permanent. There's much more permanent thing is there. And analyzing it, they will come back. God will never, ever forsake anyone, any creation of his. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to take the example of Google Maps. We put the destination there, and then we start our journey. And then if we take a wrong turn, it starts cautioning us. It says, take this turn, take that turn. Ultimately, it will guide us back to destination. If something like Google can do, then I think God 100%, as long as we map the coordinates correctly as to where our destination end goal should really be, despite whichever turn, we may take the wrong turn also. Like, of course, there is no wrong turn, right turn from what we discussed. We may take a turn less suited, but ultimately it will be guided back. So even if Apara Vidya is being pursued in the sense that we go back to God, at one point that going back to God, the transit point will help to become the end goal, because we will realize again and again, I'm going back to whom? How many times will I ask for something that is again making me go back to him rather than just ask for him or ask for God? And then so the every time we are going, even if we take God as a transit point, we are going to God. That part of going to God is sufficient enough to make the transit point also into a destination. Which that's where so even if Apara part of seeking wealth, power, and all of that is going, in ideal world, we shouldn't really get after that, realizing that it is God that we should go. But even then, if you are still craving for the toys, craving for that job, craving for that car, craving for that house, as long as we get to some point of asking, I think one point it will tell, okay, it's enough is enough, turn this way, and then get to the right destination.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Maybe I'll just add to what Sai Satish said. In life, there are many ways of learning. One is listen to something and learn without any effort by contemplation and practicing what the Guru tells. The second one is, okay, what the Guru tells, we may not understand, at least look at others and learn. How do we learn others? The others are learning through some hard knocks in life, and then we look at that and learn. If we don't learn from that also, then what happens? The hard knocks come to us. As you know, Google Map is very, very soft in guiding us back. But real life, certain hard knocks will get everyone back, even if they follow Aparavidya. So that's my understanding. In the Aparavidya, there is Paravidya. It's only her for a little while. So it's as Sai Satish mentioned earlier, it may be a detour. It may be a longer journey. And not only a longer journey, it may be a longer journey with a few knocks here and there. So everyone comes back to the same place. Because he is the shepherd, he will know how to take all the sheep home. So I'll stop there. Auntie Mani has something.
I would like to quote from Mundaka Upanishad.
Yes, Auntie.
Aparavidya.
Okay.
Tatra apara. Rugveda, Yajurvedaha, Samavedaha, Atharvavedaha, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Jyotish, Pati Athapara, Yatha Tadaksharam Adhigamyate. So it says all these are Aparavidya. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Shiksha. Then but only through studying the Aparavidya, you go to Paravidya. That's what he is. All these are very necessary for us to understand. You mean to say that Rigveda and Samveda, they are not giving us enough knowledge about the Lord? It is. But first we study all these things and then we can reach the Paravidya. So he classifies from this book I'm reading out. So these things are, Aparavidya is very, very necessary to reach Paravidya. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. So it's the same thing which in Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says. Traigunya Vishayaha Veda. Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. So the Vedas are also under the purview of the three gunas. But Krishna is telling Arjuna, transcend the three gunas. Okay, which is what Auntie says. So even the Vedas teach us many things of the world also. And they will also talk about heaven, hell, and all that, You go up and come down, good merits, all that. So which is also Aparavidya to a great extent, because they have the three gunas. And so Krishna is persuading Arjuna, go beyond even the Vedas, which are of this world, of the three gunas. So which is what Auntie is talking about. So actually we are also in the Traigunya Vishaya only. Even, we may think we are Nistraigunya. So I think that's what it is. So that's why I said the retreat will be full of this. So I will leave it at that. So but 4:29.
Yeah, 4:29.
So I think it's time. I hope it's okay to close the session. And we will get together next week to continue where we left off. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
We'll close with the prayer. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam.
Sairam.
Sairam, thank